viewers, today I want to share some observations, reflections with you regarding the ongoing Ethiopian conflict. Mostly I report about on the ground situation, about battlefield developments, about political developments. But today I want to share some observations. I think there's a pattern in this war. Things are happening according to a pattern. Everyone who did something wrong is facing consequences for their actions. Is there a pattern in this war? Is it a textbook case of poetic justice which we are seeing in Ethiopia? Let me elaborate a little, viewers. TPLF was in power at the center for more than 2 decades. TPLF, along with some Oromo, Amhara parties, they were ruling Ethiopia. TDF channels were shaping the Horn of Africa politics. Ethiopian military had much more Tigrayans than their share. Tigrayans are around 5 to 6% of 5 to 6%, I think, of Ethiopian population. But they were ruling Ethiopian military as well. Smaller ethnic groups were struggling. They were against this ethnic federalism of TPLF, in which large ethnic groups were ruling and the smaller one were being repressed. Then moment of retribution came. Those who were ruling Ethiopia were fighting for their survival in Tambian mountains. Their generals, their leaders, they were running for their lives in central Tigray. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, thought he was going to be the king of Ethiopia as his mother had made a prophecy. He thought it's the right time to put an end to TPLF. Let's start a military operation. Let's finish this adversary, political adversary, once and for all. He launched a full-scale offensive on Tigray under a blockade on all sides. And he tried to finish TPLF. He declared TPLF, his parliament, declared TPLF a terrorist organization. Then a moment of retribution came. The same PM Abiy is now demanding from TPLF to recognize his federal government as a legitimate authority. The same Abiy Ahmed who resisted African Union's mediation is now holding meetings with Obasanjo, African Union's mediator. Then viewers, Amhara region. Amharas were in government when TPLF was in power. They were allies, but they wanted more power. TPLF ousted into Mekele from Addis. Amharas thought, let's get more. They, along with Abiy, started this offensive. They took control of western Tigray, Humera, Walqait, Sagede, southern Tigray, Raya, Korom, Elamata. They thought it was the right time to take control of the disputed areas by force because TPLF was weak, it was fighting in Tambian. Then a moment of retribution came. They lost southern Tigray. They lost Korom, Elamata. They are fighting to save Humra, Walqait. In the process of this effort to save Western Tigray, they have lost Wag Himra, they have lost North Wallo, they have lost South Wallo, they have lost Oromia Special Zone. Now they are trying to save North Shore Zone of Amhara region. Retribution is continuing. Afar region sided with Ethiopian government, maybe because of some past grievances when TPLF was in power. Now the same Afar region is gradually coming under a siege. It's hit with humanitarian crisis like Tigray and like Amhara. Djibouti awarded its highest military medal to Birhanu Jula, Ethiopian army chief, in January this year. Why? To recognize his law enforcement operation, which he was conducting in Tigray. The same Djibouti is now suffering the consequences of this war. Its economy is taking a serious hit. Yesterday, BBC did a story about Djibouti's economy. BBC says that Djibouti's economy has suffered a loss of 1.8 billion US dollars due to this ongoing war. Djibouti's economy is under stress because of this law enforcement operation. Sudan, viewers, at the start of this war, in November last year, Al-Burhan visited Ethiopia. It's on record, viewers. Abiy Ahmed requested Al-Burhan to seal Ethiopia-Sudan border. Abiy Ahmed wanted to stop TPLF leaders from fleeing into Sudan from Tigray. Al-Burhan complied. During the course of compliance, Sudan took control of disputed Al-Fashaga land as well on Ethiopia-Sudan border. Then retribution came, viewers. Sudanese army staged a coup last month, and now Sudanese people are out on the streets of Khartoum, Darman. They see an other Omar al-Bashir in Al-Burhan. They want reinstatement of Sudanese political setup. Sudan is in chaos. Retribution is hitting Sudan. Kenya remained largely neutral in this war. That is why perhaps Kenya is relevant as well. It's trying to mediate. It was neutral. To some, we can say it was neutral. So whoever took sides in this war is facing the consequences of this war. TPLF must learn its lessons as well. It took pride in economic progress of Ethiopia, but its government was involved in political repression. It could not take smaller ethnic groups on board. The same Oromo Liberation Army against which Ethiopian government of Tigray People Liberation Front was conducting military operations is now TPLF's ally. People should realize that Ethiopia is a textbook case of poetic justice. Everyone who did something wrong is bearing the consequences of their actions. Only one party remains, viewers, which has not seen any consequences so far: Eritrea. Part of this war from day one, largely unharmed so far. But you will see, viewers, the pattern is telling us that the parties to this conflict, they are suffering the consequences of their actions. You will see Eritrea facing the consequences of this war, facing the consequences of what it did in Tigray in coming months. All parties should realize that it's the right time to acknowledge mistakes and to make a new beginning, to make a new start. Yes, Ethiopia can survive. Tigrayans, Oromos, Amharas, they can live together as well. The leaders should keep their political differences aside. Otherwise, retribution will keep on coming, keep on haunting them. They'll keep on suffering the consequences of their actions. Thank you for watching.